So I went to go see Predator Badlands earlier today on a Thursday, and I went in with very high hopes because of Prey and Killer of Killers. I like them both. I think they've learned their lesson, so they're not going to get it wrong anymore. Nah, they got it wrong. Not terribly wrong, but I expected a lot better. The very first thing really had nothing to do with the movie itself. The director comes on, and he explains what the whole movie's about. Now, if you're someone who has no clue at all what the movie's about, and you want to go in blindly, that's going to kind of ruin it for you. Let's say you were to invite someone to go with you, and they had no interest in the movie whatsoever, but they might have enjoyed it more if they knew nothing. I mean, he doesn't give away any spoilers, but still, the very first thing I noticed that I didn't like, and I was hoping they didn't show anything like that, and it's hard to explain, is the CGI bouncy thing when they swing around, they jump around from place to place, or when they're fighting, and the CGI just can't get the right movement. It can't get the movement right, like the way the human limbs move around. It looks very rubberish. My brother calls it the Gumby effect, and I was hoping for a costume, like a mask, like they did in Original Predator. But this one is all out CGI facial movements. Sometimes it looks good, but sometimes it looks really, really bad. I don't know if they were inspired by it. Maybe even the comic books were. But the Predator culture reminds me of Klingons. Honor, a warrior-like mentality. You know, trying to impress your family, your clan, your father. At the very beginning, it seems like Deck, the young Predator, and his older brother, bigger older brother, have a lot of love and respect for their father. But out of nowhere, like a big surprise, they kind of rushed it. He wants to kill him. He wants to kill Deck because he's the weak one. He's a little runt. He's a little one. That made me wonder, like, for how long was he thinking about doing it? And all of a sudden, let's kill him. And he tried to have his older son kill his little brother. And that's one thing throughout this whole movie. All the kills, most of the kills, or a lot of the action scenes are very predictable. When he lift that blade up and he was going to aim for his neck and cut his head off, you just knew he was going to cut they're not chains, but some kind of electric device that was holding him down. I don't know, I thought it was kind of funny that the father Predator had white dreads. So it's like regular human hair, but for their species. Just to make him look older, it's kind of funny. So the son gets thrown into the spaceship. The father kills his own son, his older son, and Deck just flies off at warp 5, like really fast, like, and he's pushed back, and he hits like the wall or whatever, and he passes out. That means there's no inertia, like damping field. At the speed he was traveling, if there's no inertia, force to stop you from splattering against the wall, how the hell did he survive? And way after the movie starts, once he lands on the planet, the deadly planet where everything's trying to kill you, you get the movie title, but with copyright info at the bottom, like an old school 60s movie or something from the 70s. Now, what the hell was that? So, he's walking along the planet, trying to find that big monster that's unkillable, so he could bring it back home as a trophy to his clan in honor of his brother. But he's dead, and his dad might respect him for it. And while he's doing that, he runs into the synthetic. I thought it was going to be a good combination. She was going to be like the comic relief, and she is, but to me, she comes off as annoying. Never once did she make me laugh, smile, giggle, and nothing. And it's not her fault. I think she did a good job, the actress. I think it's her writing. Only one joke, and I remember because it was really funny. I laughed out loud. Now, if you've seen it, you probably know what I'm talking about. I guess it's called the leg joke. She says, we need to go and find something, somewhere where they're going. And he's like, yeah, including your legs. The timing, everything was good on that one. That one was really funny. But that is the only time I laughed. So when he encounters the synthetic, she's speaking to him in his language. But then she tweaked the language interpreter program in her head. And she makes it to where he could understand what she's saying, even though she's speaking English. But she explains it out loud, really for us to understand. But there was no reason for her to explain it. We would have got it. We would have understood. And they kind of mess up because Deck, later on, he understands everybody, even without the language translator. And again, the same thing happens where there's this animal on top of him ready to kill him. And at the last moment, the synthetic pops up and saves him. Predictable. But she has no legs. So how the hell did she get down there? They don't explain it. They don't even show it. She just pops out of nowhere. Somebody out there who knows about the comics, could please explain to me how the Predators seem very primitive, but they have this real advanced technology. Where are their scientists? Did they steal it? How do they know how to operate it? One of the best parts, or maybe the best scene in the whole movie, is when he splits an animal in half. You get the slow motion effect, and he pushes it apart, and a bunch of blood, drenches his whole body. That one was good. I like that one. So he finally finds this unkillable animal. The animal, it regenerates, so it's very hard to kill. But he tries, but he can't do it. So the animal manages to hold him down, stares at him, and starts sniffing him for a long time. It could have killed him easily, but he's just sniffing away. And of course, it's enough time for him to get saved again. Yeah, like I said, it regenerates, and I like that. It's a cool ability that the monster has. And I gotta point out, man, I don't know if the young Predator's body, all of it is CGI, but his feet look like big old shoes. Towards the end, it's like a callback to the original Predator, and I like that, where Deck uses nature around him to defend himself or to kill the big monster. And then there's a callback to Aliens with the power loader, but this one is a little bigger. And one more time, I'll say it again, predictable. The synthetic's sister, I guess, gets swallowed up by the unkillable monster. And of course, she blows him up from the inside, the stomach. Man, we've seen that 1,000 times. And just like the Alien TV show, the recent one, they try to make you care about these robots, the synthetics. I couldn't. They're machines. And I can't figure out exactly why characters like the T-1000 or Data, you do care about them. But not these. Not this one or the one in the Aliens, Alien Earth. And of course, at the very end, he takes his revenge and kills his father. And he brings along with him the baby, the son of the big, giant, unkillable monster, including the synthetic he found. So they're all going to be part of his clan. But, long and behold, turns around, sees a big old ship coming towards him, well, all of them, and he said that it's his mother. And boom, cut to the credits. So I guess they might do a sequel. I don't know. It looks like this might flop. Looking at the numbers, looking bad. The premise was really good. I expected a whole lot more because it's the director of Prey. I know some people are going to disagree with me, but I now, not in the 80s and not in the 90s, right now, I believe that directors are highly, highly overrated. I think number one, the writer, most important. Casting, cinematography, score. I think that's way more important. I think that directors like the bottom of the list of what's important, but they get the most credit. Like, I think if you were to just give actors the script and say, hey, look, do what you want with it, it's your character, or even the writer, let the writer decide how the actor should play it. I say the actor should do it because most of the best scenes we've ever seen in a movie is being improvised by the actor. They're adding in their own, style or their own dialogue. Well, that's just my opinion. But would I label it as a horrible movie? Nah. It's pretty good. It's entertaining. It's just not as good as Prey. or killer of killers. So from 1 to 10, I'm going to give this movie here a solid 5. If you're a Predator fan, I would recommend it. If you're not, no, I would not. And I could watch it again. It's rewatchable. Catch you on the next one.